And we are quickly back into the thick of it. Lucio going down as I say that, and here comes Jinxie on the Ana. And Token just cooking it down main. Like we said before, this Hanzo is just going to get absolutely cooked. And Token not doing it in the nicest of ways. Full track headshots. Kama taking out the rest of the team on the high ground.
So, first it was Token's wings need to be clipped. Now it's his legs need to be broken. Like, oh my goodness. Token is just showing us why he's a flex DPS. Jinxie had a devious angle here. Smashing onto the
slam on the pro. Rolling through, just creating absolute mayhem for the side of Otaku here. Pushing it through. Otaku looking to struggle really good. Pushing out the Sojourn, big kill from Radagon. Jinxie looking to try and slam with the peel. Not really able to find it. Reaper fades out main. Right to Tracy. Oh, but Token gets the better of him. And now Token looking to find the next victim in the push. Goes for the pulse. Goes a bit wide. His recall gets out. Doesn't want anything more to do with that Sojourn. D.Va going down to the side of Otaku. We're still going.
It's still going. Still fighting.
Oh, the Trade Intellective playing from Chloe with a wide swing. They're going to fight out next. Recall forced onto Token. Really low HP for Chloe here. Fighting out Token with no recall. Yeah, needs to be really careful. Gets traded out. Jinxie looking for all the touches that they can get. Rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. Really good stuff from Jinxie here. Gets naded. Needs to be careful. Yeah. Lives with their life. Probably gonna look for another touch here. Looks for the slam. Hits the mines button. Not able to get the slam off. Lucio taking one. Oh, Lucio actually dying to the mines. Jinxie really happy with that. Gets slept, but I don't think they care. Gonna just walk up here. Failsafe on the low ground. Gets spooked into the mines. Has the need for it and gets traded out in main. Jinxie now on this D.Va looking for the cleanup. That's a really peak plays from Jinxie in that fight.
Yeah, that ball was clean, booping them back into the mines. Also, being really aggressive here. That Hanzo only having one life and then immediately onto the Sojourn. Yeah, ult advantage is on Otaku though, so hopefully we see something.
The Mei now, the side of Otaku, really tight brawl. Yeah, Sven's Kama out with overclock, looking to get things done. Doesn't seem to get much done. Slides in with a crazy headshot onto Lucio. Gonna look for more, can't get more, but I think the job may have been done. 2 down for the side of Otaku. Both supports. Really hard for Otaku to come back in here. Omni-Knight with hard. Closing with a wall to get out, but the D.Va is going in. Maki taking the nade, probably gonna look for the bomb here. Gets the bomb, will keep his life to be able to live out. Steven make back onto point. Really hard stall here, but the side of Omni-Knights are just going to keep pummeling. Chloe in with a trade on the Ana, walking it down main. What we see here, slow onto the ball. Jinxie going in with a slam onto Reaper, trying to look for something, gets out with their life. Oh, Token traded out by the responding D.Va with a peel. Pretty decent peel from Baki there. Baki's still looking for more. Oh, really brawly fight.
They do have the beat here on both sides, so it's who gets the better beat, I feel like. Mine's getting out. Otaku is stabilizing, yeah.
Chaotic. Oh, walks back in the mines, probably didn't realize they were there. Full explosions onto D.Va, losing the mech. Really bad. Failsafe with a crazy sleep onto the Tracer. Gonna try and save the baby D.Va. Tracer doesn't get shot early though. That's gotta be heartbreaking for the Ana from Otaku. But I mean, Otaku's still fending off this bridge. Jinxie going for another slam, and SG Flops follows up onto Tarnished. Jinxie with the crazy ball movement here. Another slam onto main. Don't look pain. Looking to try and mark this Reaper out from the Ana. Nano D.Va though, running it on main. Ooh, really low. Backline from Omni-Knight. Sojourn really low. Can the D.Va find it? Oh, he's going for in. Beats out from Long Live Pain. There's a really big trade onto the D.Va. Responding beat from the side of Otaku, walking it down main here. Maybe they can make something happen. Without Chloe though, that's gonna be really difficult. Sojourn feeling really low. Lucio and Ball and Sojourn all walking in on the slept Lucio. Big sleep from SG Flops there. What a chaotic fight that was indeed.
That was just one long fight. It feels like we've been like, what, 96% into the push progress, and it's just been one big fight. The Mei ult here has potential to stop Jinxie's ball, who is absolutely wreaking havoc on them. Going in for the slam again.
Oh, the slam here. Might see the Mei ult come out. Oh, Lucio falling really low. Big damage from the D.Va. Oh, this Hogan does from Lucio, but he gets traded up with his life. Randomly goes good. May ult onto bridge. Jinxie slamming directly into it. Gets frozen. Gets moved over though. Able to escape with her life. Oh my dude. Oh, Karma on the bridge here. Just cleaning up.
the mines again.
Jinxie is just taking all the attention for Karma to just walk up. A Reaper ult from the side of Otaku gets. Oh my goodness. Massive torpedoes from the D.Va. Jinxie really low. Dude, these fights are some chaotic fights. Jesus, what the heck?
We have to mention that Jinxie got 3 mines in those fights.
Yeah.
They had mines 3 times. So I'm just happy Token is showing us he is mortal by dying on Tracer twice. That's all I'm happy for.
Yeah. Jinxie with another slam. Fade out onto the Moira. Brig gets traded again with this really fragile backline. Karma swinging with the overclock. Sliding in once more. Gets more. D.Va bomb in main. I mean, the front line from Foreign Knights here just putting in crazy work. Can Baki get the Jenna Ana? That's a big trade actually, living long enough to get the Jenna to Ana. We do kill Baki here, but Ana down for the side of Omni Knights. Might be tough coming in this fight.
I think at this point Kama should rename to Guillotine by the way he's just clicking heads and taking names. Just
true.
Absolutely massacring them every time he has overclock.
Otaku here with the stronger player count. Slam from Jinxie doesn't find anybody. Otaku just really need to like play up here. They are up a hero currently. Ana from Omni Knight slowly walking back. Walking on the side. Oh, onto the full circle. Big execute onto Karma. Lucio is next in line. Clo does get traded on the bridge though, but it's Token Ball. Ball and Token gonna come back now to try and peel. D.Va trying to make the most out of the situation and help their team as much as possible. Looks for the Lucio on the side. Brutal over high ground. Can he find a pick? Lucio's 1 HP. Can they get the pick? Gets the pick. But what is happening in the backline of Otaku? It looks like we are chilling for now.
Okay, they've weathered the storm. It feels as soon as Otaku starts to try and get momentum, it's because of the forward spawn. It's by the time the bot reaches the middle, it's just a neutral fight all over again. And Kama is just Jinxie being unbelievably present, coming up to their 4th mines here, and then Kama also being just giga oppressive. Yeah. They can't do anything.
With this crazy swing onto the ball slam. Cash in a really precarious position. Nade out actually flops. Doesn't connect to the correct target currently. But here's Baki on the backline. Ana 1 HP gets slept. Jinxie with the mines trades out to Cassidy. Brig is next in line. Brig is not safe in this current situation. Looking at the fight, there's a coalitions going on back there. What is happening in the backline? They're tarnished for the coalitions. Coming back to try and help the team. D.Va does survive and able to peel. Brig does end up going down, but it might be a little too late for the side of Omni Knights here. Moira living with alive, close still alive to disrupt this ball. Tracer going around, Rico forced. Omni Knights looking really precarious in the situation. Otaku with another slam from Jinxie. I mean, Otaku are taking it really well though. Blizzard coming out. Who does connect with nobody, unfortunately. I mean, zoning Blizzard works sometimes, I guess. Tracer going in. Oh, it's the post bomb. D.Va bomb from Otaku. Jinxie falling really low, looking for the squash, doesn't get it. Unfortunately, Clo dying to Karma. I mean, even the post bomb, this is still really bad for the side of Otaku. Cassidy fighting for his life on left side with the ball. Tracer just going hard on him. Here's Jinxie, backline, stabilizing. Ana from SG Flops is looking for these nades. Nano as well. Cassidy High Noon swinging out with the damage matrix. Can he find anything? Doesn't get it. The recall from Token. Oh, still gets the headshot on Tagama. The recall from Token was just in time. There's a Brig rally. Token should go down. A beat coming out from Omni Knights. Really good beat. This is the ult for ult situation. Totally absolutely bursted down. The mines in main again from Jinxie. Struggling to walk backwards. That is the 5th mines from Jinxie. The amount of ultimates that has been spent in this game is insane.
And we're final fight situation. Otaku now need to do something. Going to have to play 4 coalescence, but again, Kama with that overclock is ready to just be the absolute I don't know, weed whacker that is.
Because from the cash hook down extremely early might be bad for the side of Omni Knights. The overclock is still capability. We lose the Taz in early, traded out. Otaku gonna try and make something happening. A slam from Jigsaw to the Bastion. We lose Karma. We don't have overclock anymore, Cheetos. Bastion going down really low. The overclock out from Otaku in a desperate situation. Does trade out SG Flops. don't think it was necessarily needed, but good
Yeah,
fight
no,
move
that's-
here.
Failsafe single-handedly the bot. Okay, no wait, the Moira is there. I was for a second, oh no. But Failsafe
Just
single-handedly just saying no, we will not end here. But the
That's
overclock
true.
is still up and the pulse is still up. Surely Bucky can eat it again.
Surely. Failsafe needs to walk up, not get left behind. Get healed, my friend. Walks out.
Also,
Okay, I'm gonna pulse
go.
onto the Bastion. That was even more left behind. I didn't notice Karma trading out the Cassidy. Here comes the overclock. Oh, Failsafe killing the overclock. Wait a second, this is still winnable for Otaku. Looking for the bomb here. The bomb. No, from Jinxie again. Dies to the mines. Tonish goes down. The bomb finds nothing. Failsafe trading out the Tracer, but it's just too little, too late for the sides of Otaku.
Oh my goodness. What was that? 6 mines in a single game?
What?
6!
The J
Oh,
in
yeah.
Jinxie stands for Junbin.
Junbin. And,
Oh, what is this?
no, Kama just slaughtering them here. I think this is where he just like does the flick onto the... Yeah, bye-bye.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
That was some of the
What?
most intense Overwatch
What
that I
about...
have casted. What a map indeed. Oh, I mean, both sides looking really in it to the end. I think that's what matters the most, right? Keeping that flame burning throughout the entire game, not just giving up. You know, when you feel like you're down 2-0 to Pharah spam, it's so demoralizing, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody understands, like being a little bit in the middle rank side, and everybody got rolled by some kind of Pharah player, right? And it's just like, I don't want to play the game anymore. But Otaku, keeping
Yeah.
the flame burning, keeping the fire lit till the end, and even though it's a 3-0, it's a really convincing.
Yeah.
Otaku seems really convincing that they are not ready to just be down and out. Also like seeing them in summer series, the ACGL summer series, it tells me that they still want to be in this, right? They still want to
Yeah.
play. They are not done yet. We don't care if we lose. We're just gonna get better and better and better and better. And this is what we like to see from South African teams, right? We want to see this community grow. And right now, I'm seeing a whole lot of growth and a whole lot of minefields and a whole lot of fire barrages. So yeah.
So there you have your first winner of the first day of the playoffs. Not the winner of the whole playoffs, just the winner of the first game. I think they will move forward in the upper brackets. But before we go, Risen, MVP for the game, for this series.
All right. So the whole time, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about a specific person, but my opinion got changed very suddenly,
Okay.
and I think I have not given MVP to a tank player yet, and I think I have to give MVP to the Jinxie bin, the Jun bin,
Yeah.
the Jun Jinxie on ball. For just the sheer amount of minefields
mines.
that happened last game. It's
So,
like insane.
I was thinking the whole series was like, no, Token was really impressive on that far. And credit where credit's due. Token played really well
Yes.
during the whole series. Bucky eating almost all of the pulses on Omni9, not on Taku. Like, we have to mention that. Those pulse eats were like massive. But I fully agree, Jinxie MVP with the amount of mines. It felt like a war zone with the amount of mines that there were.
It did.
That was
man.
every fight. So, with your first match of the playoffs, yeah, I think that's it for now. We'll be back in a bit for your next game, which is, I think, Fred versus Lunettes, which is also going to be an exciting game. Really exciting. Yeah, and hope to see you guys there. Bye bye.
till we on top. Quit, I think not. Coming hot for the #1 spot, yeah. No key, got the game on lock, ayy. Big threes when I take my shot, ayy. On the rise and we ain't gon' drop. On the grind, it's our time, just watch. If you want it, you can get it. Life gets hard, but don't you let it get you down. Go get the crown because our time is now. Ayy, we gotta get it. Gotta get up, gotta go, we gotta get it. Ayy, they won't forget us. Made it happen and we all became legends. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it. We can't be contained when we leave the game. My name will remain. We don't need the fame. You can keep this chain. We broke free, so things won't be the same. Nah, on the mission, gotta get it. Let's work. We were raised on the net. I'm raising my net worth, but it ain't about the money. Nah, it ain't about the cause. All that matters is the world knows who we are. Stars. If you want it, you can get it. Life gets hard, but don't you let it get you down. Go get the crown because our time is now. Hey, we gotta get it. Gotta get up, gotta go, we gotta get it. Hey, they won't forget us. Made it happen and we all became legends. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it. Know that our time is now. Yes, life can get hard, but don't ever let it keep you down. See, we are all kings and queens and we all deserve crowns. So don't wait. Get up, go out and get it. Now. Hey, we gotta get it. Gotta get up, gotta go, we gotta get it. Hey, they won't forget us. Made it happen and we all became legends. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it. We gotta get it.
Well, folks, new year means new faces here in South African Overwatch, not just in the casting booth, as it is myself, joined by Cheetos, but also in terms of the faces in game. Thanks to PCRA, in partnership with ACGL, they bring us Conquer the Climb, a new tournament in the South African Overwatch ecosystem that brings new players in touch with old faces and names in a kind of mentorship partnership that allows them to learn a lot more than just, coaching in game, but also how to run your team, in a more meta sense. How do you set up matches? How do you do X? How do you do Y? Just a steady hand on the shoulder that can say, hey, here's how you get all that done. And that's kind of the idea behind this tournament, Conquer the Climb, as I said, and we're pretty well deep in it. We've already had a round robin phase, 4 teams taking part, and that seeded them into what we have now, the playoffs. We've already seen one match. Cheetos, you had the pleasure of bringing that to us alongside Rhythm. And what are your thoughts on Conquer the Climb so far?
So far, Risen pointed out him being a mentor. You can see the you can see the growth that these teams had coming in from the beginning up to now, and how they've grown as teams. Where in the first few games they looked a bit lost, and now it seems more. And first few games, like in the run robin, they look more structured and more coherent in their team. So, I think overall, very, very happy to see new faces in the Overwatch esports scene in South Africa specifically.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's take a look at one of the sets of new faces here. We can start wherever Peach takes us here. It is going to be EEA Lunets. Now, just to orientate ourselves in where we are, of course, we just saw the first match of the upper bracket just a moment ago. A little bit ago at this point. But this is the second match, and these are 2 teams who finished second and third, so it promises to be a bit of a closer encounter. But let's take a look at the team who comes in as the favorites. Eagle Eye Academy Lunettes is going to be Hands of Time and Decaf on the DPS, Maverick on the tank, and Leilu and Slap Daddy on the supports. I believe Leilu will be subbed up for the first game, but pretty much the only name I recognize there is Leilu. Any insights from your side, Cheetos?
Just that they're quite a brawl-heavy team. Maverick showing in recent games that he really, really likes playing Ramatra and doing good rotates on the Ramatra. Other than that, I've unfortunately not been keeping up with the series too much, but I feel like brawl heavy team, so expect some scrappy fights and skirmishes coming up from them.
All right, and we also know that Hands of Time also out here, he'll be replaced, or Leilu and Hands of Time will be replaced by Stormy and Sleep coming in as substitutes. So let's take a look at their opponents here. It is going to be Fred Thumbs Up. No thumbs up here, unfortunately, but I promise you that's their official name. It is going to be Ghost Dragon and Sleepless as the 2 DPS, Mouse Catcher as the tank, Zelani Boar and Ryan Lecker as the 2 supports. We were chatting earlier, you said this is pretty much also a brawly team here, and you expect Mouse Catcher to kind of be the tip of the spear on something like a Reinhardt.
Yeah, I think Mouse Catcher's Ryan is something we should watch out for. Very aggressive when he gets to do what he wants to do, and then I have to give a shout out to Zelani Boar, a fellow Lucio connoisseur that I've had the luxury of talking to and like giving a bit of tips. Really solid player, and really has that drive to go and get it, which you love to see in a new player that like seems motivated about what he's doing.
Awesome. Now, one thing we didn't mention about these 2 teams is one of the most important things is who is mentoring them. That's obviously a huge part of what makes Conquer the Climb what it is. And for Lunettes, it is Ontiablo and Kurugari, 2 names that if you're familiar with South African Overwatch, you're going to be very, very, very familiar with. Ontiablo especially, the best tracer in the country for a long time, probably still is a part of Inglorious Blasters as they took the crown at last year's LAN tournament. And then Kurugari, also a former member of that OG squad, not sure who he's playing for now, but that's Lunettes. And then Fred, Luke and Risen are their 2 mentors. Risen, of course, we will be very familiar with now, having seen him cast a few times most recently, and Luke has been part of many, many different teams, mostly as DPS and flex support, I want to say, but those are the 2 mentors for these teams. Of course, Ontiablo and Kurugari kind of stand out as a pair of mentors with a lot of experience behind them.
Yeah, it's really also, I think, quite significant to mention that Antiablo and Kuragari are both primarily DPS players, so I don't know how they understand team fights from a DPS perspective very well. That is evident in how they play. But then Luke and Risen on the other side are more flex players, so mentoring from their side could be much more encompassing, understanding more nuances and everything.
We'll have to wait and see how relevant that ends up being. We do know what our first map is here. It is going to be Lijiang Tower, a staple of South African Overwatch. And I think it's worth mentioning as well, again, that these two teams did face off in the round robin phase, and it was Lunettes who took the victory 3-1 on that occasion. So every opportunity for things to close up. And of course, we it's been however long it's been since then, a few weeks. These teams will have had time with their mentors to respond to their performances in the round robin phase, so plenty of chance we'll see a completely different look from both of these teams, if not in terms of rosters or compositions, at least in terms of their relative performances to each other. So we'll have to wait and see. We are still waiting for one last straggler to get into the lobby here. We should get started soon. What are your thoughts on Lijiang, Cheetos?
I think Lijiang is a really good pick from both. It's Lunette's pick. I think it's a really good pick because both teams play Brawl, and it's a very neutral ground. I feel like both teams can play Comfort. Lunettes can play Comfort with Maverick on the Brawl tank, Ramattra, Ryan, and then as well, Thingy, the other tank, Mousecatcher, can also play his Comfort pick. However, the last time this happened, when these two teams met, Lunettes did come out on top. So hopefully, Fred, thumbs up, can learn from the mistakes that they made, the overcommitting where they should have maybe come back a bit to take victory this time and change the outcome of the game. But overall, Lijiang, very fun map for Brawl, and that makes me really excited.
Yeah, of course, when you think Brawl, you think of Control Center, mostly as a map where Brawl, even when Brawl is not popular or not super meta, it's still a map where you see a lot of the Ryan, a lot of the Ram get played. So we'll definitely see it if we start anywhere near there. But as you say, the kind of style that both of these teams like to employ tends to operate around that more Brawly style. So I think it's going to be fascinating to see how far these two teams have come from that group stage matchup. How much have they learned? They are, unlike a lot of teams in South African Overwatch, they've got the benefit of coaches dedicated to them that will help them, identify potential weaknesses in their opponents, in their playstyles, that they can then look to solve. But we'll have to wait and see. Until we get to the grand finals, which will be a best of 5, best of 7 rather. They're all best of 5s. I don't know if I've been saying the right numbers here, Cheetos, but it doesn't matter. We've got gameplay to distract us, and we get a sense now of the compositions.
Mousecatcher, of course, coming out on that Ryan, it's more of his comfort pick. However, the Baptiste and Lucio backline is throwing a curve.
Let's see. We got 10 seconds, Cheetos, before the door opens. Anything can happen.
I mean, if he comes out on this, it means they might probably play for a Mei wall to isolate the Maverick once he commits the shift in, and then the Immortality field to potentially keep him up. Late TP there from Lunette's side, but they're all gonna all meet in White Room.
Stormy kind of stood there for a second, like it would be way quick for me to just run across the distance here. It doesn't matter. This is a bad matchup for Ryan against the Ram, but doing well so far. Mousecatcher putting out damage on the enemy front line. Need to be careful here when they come through, because Sleepless is ready to go with the wall. Somebody has got through already, but they're not really making an impact here. Decaf on the Tracer on the left-hand side, putting the pressure on, but they move forward. Got through, counter for couple, but not enough, or too many almost. They've still got plenty to fight with here. Mousecatcher dropping low as Fred forced back once again. Lunette's colors wrong at the top. That's a little bit confusing, but it is Lunette's in blue, I think, as we see here the Maverick putting the pressure on. A lot of damage coming through, but Lunette's in control of the point so far. Typical of what we would expect to see given their performances throughout the round robin stage.
I mean, Fred is kind of in the driving seat now, having that pick and being on the
Yeah.
forward. Getting the 2 picks makes it so that Fred can just steamroll, just speed onto them. Early window
that's-
here.
That's unfortunate there. Maverick kind of got cut off from his support, dropped low and taken down. He's already built up towards the Annihilation, so really, really good stuff from the Lunette's main tank.
Ult advantage on Fred's side, so I'm hoping that a beat comes out for the Annihilation, and then potentially the shatter pin into a wall could be very oppressive for that Ram. It is the execution of the Annihilation that I think will be the key factor here.
I think you're right about that here. Dropping low, no shield, but has the shatter at the ready. Will look to use it. No, the wall cuts him off. He's dropping low. He's taken down. Stormy finds the last hit on that occasion. Annihilation pop though, looking to move forward, but a good sound barrier from, and they say, keeps the team alive, keeps Maverick alive, or keeps him alive for a little bit longer. But we will have a pause here, or even Stevens at the moment, Cheeto, in terms of percentage, but Fred falling behind in this team fight as Maverick, or who was that? Mouse catcher? Yeah. Unfortunately, he will drop out. Had just used his ultimate, thankfully, so won't lose anything from that perspective.
He will, however, now with the new update with the perks, his perks will unfortunately be reset, putting him back a bit, which, it's not the end of the world because of the catch-up, I use the example, catch-up XP does get enabled as the game go on, but it's still, he will be perkless in the next fight, which could, I don't know if it's going to be deal or no, like going to be the break point here.
Yeah.
However, I want to point out that Sleep still has his beat, so they do have that to play with into the mail from Sleepless coming out, bit confusing there. And then the Death Blossom Pulse combination could also be very potent here.
Good indeed, as the Maverick now will pop the Nemesis form and look to clean up the last couple of kills here, and it will end up being pretty slick work from EEA Lunettes, losing out a little bit here, but back in the control of the point once again.
I think Decaf should look for a pulse here, and I'm hoping that he does this. A pulse onto anybody, really. But Mousecatcher is back now, holding WQ as Reinhardt should. Then Blizzard cutting them all off.
Oh, the beat is good though. We'll keep the team healthy for the time being. Stormy finds Ryan Licker. The Maverick will drop though. There's the Death Blossom though in the back line. Finds one, gets rid of the lamp, and is going to allow him to move forward. Stormy looking to clean up the enemy back line, but we'll play it safe here. They have lost Maverick, so they can't overextend. This is good play from EEA Lunettes.
Might have been a slight overcommittal. Committing they lost the beat, the Blossom and the Pulse. So Fred now again have the ultimate advantage. If that window can come up into this death corner, a fire strike can rip through the team.
They will have to be careful of that, and we do see Cortana with the Death Blossom, with the window rather, at the ready. Needs to keep the Cassidy alive, will do so, good work, but that is Lamp now on cooldown. Mousecatcher, wishes he had that as Stormy once again comes in clutch for their team. Another kill, Blue in the kill feed here all the way as the EA Lunettes stamp their authority on this match. A full team wipe here in the offing as just last man standing here, the Lucio, not going to make it anywhere near the point. And that's going to be it. A pretty solid performance from our blue team.
I feel like Fred just couldn't find any proper footing. I don't know if the DC is a cause for that, but Mousecatcher is a bit out of sync there. But it feels like just as soon as Fred presses W, Lunettes respond really quickly. I think the Moira is something that we are going is going on in the backline there that has to be mentioned. I think she's keeping Maverick up quite a bit, making sure that the Ram doesn't necessarily have to use his form too early. Yeah, just a bit swap. Mousecatcher went to Ram, possibly to match. However, I don't know if that is better necessarily.
I think it's better than the Ryan, just because that Ram matchup is a bit tough as a Reinhardt, so you'd rather just not have to worry about that. If he's comfortable on the hero, then he should be fine. Boop is good. Sleep needs to be careful. Taken down in the end. Ryan Licker will find that shot to take down that pesky Lucio. As now they can look to rotate around here, look to find targets. May not quite as pivotal on this map as she would be on control center. 2 good shots on the Tracer. Gets round onto the back. 2 headshots in a row here, cleaning up. Ryan Lecker doing excellent work for Fred here, and once again they'll get first cap. Mousecatcher with his fists out, getting much better value out of the Ram than he was out of the Ryan.
Ryan Lacker being quite instrumental there, I feel like, showing us that Deadeye, although it might just be a fancy reload, it's the Cassidy's main mouse one that is his power.
It is indeed, as now Decaf flanking around, looking to put the pressure on the May. Just going to force them back towards points here. No ults in the offing just yet, but Mousecatcher close towards his 95% added. Deadeye also available here from Ryan Lecker. The pressure is being put on, but he needs to be careful here. The Tracer, good dodge out, but Ryan Lecker, Maverick rather, he has popped his ulti. Ryan Lecker finds one. Decaf will drop with that. A great boop, but a TP back up. You thought he had him, and you did, because Mousecatcher was there to pick up the pieces. As once again, Lunettes will drop the first team fight, but come back firing in the next team fight. But unfortunately for them, Fred are standing firm here. Cortana finds a kill. The boop, sit and sleep skyward and off the map, and that's going to be it. Fred holding firm here. This is a different team we're looking at, Cheetahs.
Yeah, the life just breathed back into them. Good ult usage from Ryan Lacker to confirm that kill onto the Tracer. Ult advantage is on Lunette's side. If they can get a good Death Blossom, they don't really have that many answers unless the beat, because you can force out the beat and then go in with the Ramatra to just finish them off. The Coalescence coming out, beat early!
Very early. Annihilation popped into the beat here, but he'll be able to keep it going for quite a while now. Very, very low May. Will they look to clean that up? Yes, they will. Should go down. Sleepless, though. He did find Decaf in the meantime, struggling to find value on the Tracer between the enemy Cassidy and May. Will fire back. They did not kill the May, and he found another here. Another move forward. Fred in complete control of the team fight. Stormy, the only one finding purchase, has the Death Blossom. Takes down 2 both supports out of the game, but he will drop down. The May ulti popped now, but the revives have come through. There's going to be 2 blue players at the point. Maverick frozen up, such low HP, but that's going to be it. Loonhead somehow find a way. Looked like they were down and out there, but in the end they come out on top.
So unfortunate. Sleep Ajaxed his beat. So for those who don't know, that means he used the cooldown, but it didn't trigger.
Ooh, speaking of triggering, Decaf has got to trigger the exit clause here, because he's being put under a lot of pressure between the May and the Cass. They're really doing an excellent job of dealing with the Tracer, but now they need to be careful here. Aggressive move. Ryan once again tracks down Decaf and takes him out. They're getting forced back so heavily here, though, on the blue team. They find the enemy tank. Maverick goes down. Can Mousecatcher find more? Yes, he can. The Lucio not likely to get out of this. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. He is going to beat a haste to retreat back towards his team. Needs to be careful. The boop here not good enough on this occasion, and in fact will get booped himself, and Ryan Lecker will take advantage of that. 99% now. Overtime ticking down. Nobody close enough to touch. Yes, the Reaper gets in. Decaf gets a touch, but it's going to be a scramble team fight from here. A good stun out onto the Reaper will secure that kill. Does take down the Cass, but it's too little too late here. Annihilation on the point, though. As I say that, how much time can the Maverick die with the block? Soundberry will keep the team from going down here. The Lucio is in the mix here, but it's Lucio and Lucio action in the corner, but it's not good enough to keep the Maverick alive, and that's going to be it here for map number 2, as it all even Stevens, as Fred holding firm.
Oh, this is good Overwatch. I think I just want to point out how Ryan Lacker is telling Decaf that no, he wants caffeinated coffee. He is all there for the Red Bulls. I don't know, Decaf needs to, I don't know if he needs to switch up how he's playing, how he's approaching this fight, but it feels like everywhere he goes, Ryan Lacker has his contact info. He knows his details. He knows everything that Decaf's doing, and just shutting him down before the fight starts. Good fights, though. I will say that Lunettes have been showing really good fighting power into Fred, but Fred has shown that they can adapt to what's going on.
Yeah, I think the Ram switch was critical to their success here.
Yeah.
On point number 2, as Now we see no changes made for either team. TP out, but back onto the Tracer. Struggling here. It's not just the Cass, as I said, it's the Mei as well. You know, the occasional icicle to the head can spell the end of Decap's team fight, and it's been a real struggle for him. But here we go. Fred moving forward onto point here. A lot of damage being pumped through here onto the blue team. Lunettes under pressure, but holding firm for the time being. Good healing coming out from Cortana in the background here. Lots of outcharge building up, but Sleepless, there we go. He finds the opening kill onto Sleep. Sleepless versus Sleep. I know which one I'd rather have, but right now Sleepless Insomnia when he comes out as well, gets rid of the Maverick. Perfect play from the red team here as Fred. They lost the first map, but they're showing us why they got this far as now they look to push Lunettes back and get that first cap done.
I think Fred's game plan here is pretty evident. It's you put a wall between the Lunettes tank and the backline, and you just pummel it. Mousecatcher using his Nemesis form every time as soon as that wall comes out. Sleepless just blocking them off from any possible movement.
And it just gets better for them from here, because this is a great place to have a Mei. Not the best wall we'll ever see, but it does the job here of separating off Mousecatcher, or the Maverick rather, from his team. Annihilation pop from both here. It's Annihilation all over the place here. Armageddon, as it turns out, but it is going to be Mousecatcher who finds an opening kill. Maverick, he does the same thing on the other side. He gets a second as well, but Ryan Lecker, he's popping off here, taking down the Maverick. A one-man army, but one man cannot stand against the might of the Fred squad here. Last man standing, as it turns out, is the Maverick. Pulse bomb sounded like it was dropped somewhere there. It was, but it didn't find the kill. And now all of a sudden, the tables have turned. The revives are coming back in, and all of a sudden, our blue squad is cleaning up here. Excellent work from EEA Lunettes, but already all the way up to 57% for the red team.
I was about to say it's quite unfortunate that Sleep died 6% off of beat, but getting that rollout and getting there quickly to assist Maverick was quite influential. I mean, yeah, it really sealed the deal here. But the Coalescence coming out early, just trying to stop any push that they have. However, very bad spot for Mayhold.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Good use of speed boost as well. These teams are working together very, very well, as the Mei wall not really finding an opportunity to cut someone off. But once again, Ryan Lecker gets the better of Decap. This could be huge. This could be so huge. Death Blossom, so much DPS. One kill is all that'll find, but it'll be more than enough to secure his team the team fight. You'd have to think Sleep, find Sleepless. That's a better thing to do if you're watching this from home, guys. Please, sleep is better than no sleep, and showing it here once again. But EEA Lunettes once again in firm control, and now with the lead here on Gardens.
Ult advantage is on Fred, so on paper they should take this the next point quite comfortably, I would say. However, Lunettes have shown that they like it when the odds are not in their favor, as they just grab these victories from out of nowhere.
They do indeed, as now they need to move forward here. Last fight territory. There is a good Blizzard, not finding enough though. Freezes up the Lucio, and Mousecatcher will pick up the pieces. Annihilation pop from the blue team though, as Fred, they'll pop theirs as well. Like Armageddon once again. No, actually, Mousecatcher holding on to his. They're looking for an opportunity to use this. Ryan Lecker, you don't put pressure on him, he will find kills, and he finds one there. Will use the Fan the Hammer. I presume he has the Fan the Hammer perk as well, and all of a sudden a flurry of kills going the way of Fred here. Sleepless takes down Decap. Last man in on the point here will be taken down, and that's going to be it for this team fight. Fred in control once again, but they need to play it perfectly from here.
Also showing really good constraint there, not fully committing every ult they have. Most teams at the lower end tend to overcommit ults, but Fred showing really good restraint there, not committing their Matra ult and the Cassidy ult when they could use it when the fight was over. But the Coalescence probably going to be the opener with the Pulse Bomb. Can Decap stick this?
Oh, not that. It might do damage. They're not going to kill Stormy in the meantime here, so immediately on the back foot here are EEA Lunettes, but Decap making nuisance of himself. But you can see if he gets spotted up by Ryan Lecker, he'll land at least one shot and force Decap out of the team fight. Deadeye pop now Not going to find any targets just yet. He knows who he wants. He's going to get the back of Maverick and get the kill as well. Ryan Lecker in prime position here to win this one for his team. Dropping low though, does get taken down. They've got a lot of kills here on the side of Fred. Two difficult heroes to kill on the point though. And sound barrier as well to keep them healthy. How much time can they buy for teammates to get back in? But finally, Mousecatcher decides now's the time for Annihilation. He finds the kill. He finds Sleep. He will find the Moira as well with the help of Cortana, and that should be it here. Fred, after dropping the first point of Control Center, they climb their way back into it to take the lead in this series.
Really, really good beats from Zeleny Ball, who is playing on streamer mode, so his name is And They Say. But Lucio from Fred, really, really key beats that he used. And Sleep, somehow always finding a way to die just before the fight starts, which is quite unfortunate. And then obviously the main man, Ryan Lecker, just absolutely going ballistic as the gunslinger. Just making sure that nobody can really get close enough to his backline to touch them at all.
Yeah, no, it was probably the difference between the two teams. I think the fact that Ryan Lecker was having all of the impact in the world, and Decaf just wasn't able to find that same kind of impact. I think had Decaf had free reign to put the pressure on that he might be aiming for, it might have been a lot easier for the front line to punch their way through. But because it was one man marking him in Ryan Lecker and then also finding value, across the map as well.
Yeah.
It was really, really solid play from Fred there. So we'll have to wait and see. Do you feel like you at this point you just dropped the Tracer, or do you think you kind of it's part of your plan? It's part of your system. It's just about better execution.
So it depends on how the mentors have been coaching them up until now, I would say, because it depends on what their goal with the Tracer is. Personally, I would match the Cassidy here, purely because May and Cassidy both have the potential to, one, just hit the Tracer really quickly and then put her on critical health and make sure that she can't really do anything. So in my humble opinion, I would say Tracer needs to be dropped and maybe match the Cassidy, or go something like Sojourn. As a player myself, I know into Brawl heavy comps, Sojourn can charge up that railgun really quickly, and now with the new perk, which you can get 150 charge during overclock, she can one-tap people really quickly. And it's just like, I feel like Sojourn into this Brawl would be fantastic. It's whether or not Decaf plays it or not.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about the Sojourn. She's been the most popular DPS, it feels like, for the last little while. So it's interesting to see both teams ignore that. Worth remembering as well, everybody, no bans for this tournament. Summer Series has bans, Conquer the Climb, no bans. There's already a lot going on in this tournament for the players to then add hero bans on top of that. So you have your pick of the litter here. You can pick whatever you want, and I'm surprised to see Sojourn ignore. But as you kind of intonated there, it is about hero comfort as well. Maybe Decaf not that confident on a hero like Sojourn, but that's kind of what you get with new teams like these. You kind of have to work within whatever constraints they have, and who knows, if they had these coaches for another 3-4 months, the hero pools would deepen accordingly. So we do wait to see here. The teams do have a little bit of extra time between maps, obviously with the whole setup with the mentors and stuff. It's good to give them some time to get some feedback on that if the mentors are available during matches. So you've got time to kind of chat it out, to figure out how you can approach the next map, and to make any subs if you need to as well. So we do have some downtime between maps.
I'm quite interested in where we are going next. So as we know, next few modes that are open, it's Hybrid, Escort, Push, Flashpoint. My gut is telling me that both these teams would prefer to be on something like Push and Flashpoint, where it's more scrappy, more fighting the whole time. But I would actually be quite interested in seeing a Hybrid or Escort from both these teams and see how they adapt to a game mode in which Brawl might not necessarily be the most best. Would they try and force it, or will somebody like Ryan Lecker or Decaf find like a gap in the armor with a pocket ash pick that just chips them off before they get to them, or maybe Decaf hopefully goes to the Sojourn and just reverses the roles between Ryan Lecker and him at the moment. But
Yeah.
I'm anxiously waiting to see what game mode we are going to.
Yeah, so just it is worth reminding ourselves that teams can pick, the losing team can pick from any map, from any mode. They can go wherever they like from here. Obviously, control excluded, I believe. And also that the losing team also picks the side. So normally in tournaments, for those of you who are not familiar, the losing team picks the map, and the winning team from the previous map picks the side, so attack or defend. That's not how it works here. The losing team also picks the side, so it doesn't tend to make the world's biggest difference in even matchups. It tends to be more important in one-sided matches, because the team that is dominating can attack first and make the match shorter, basically, often, or kind of control how much of the game they actually want to play. But we'll have to wait and see here what Lunettes do. But it's already Cheeto's kind of a bit of an upset. Of course, we knew it was going to be even coming in. But Lunettes were the winners last time these two faced, a 3-1 victory. So impressed so far with Fred's performance.
And we just got confirmation that next map is Servasa, which is, I think, just control squared. It's more of the same. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the same comps rolling out. I'm really excited because Servasa has a particular point where Lucio has the most impact with his boops. And as a Lucio player myself, I am all here. I'm all for boops. That's all I want to see. I want to see some boops.
Yeah, Lucio players are all the same, to be honest. all you care about is other Lucio players and booping people off the map.
We're simple-minded. We're simple people.
Yeah, clearly. It would shock me if we saw anything different from what we saw on Control here. I would like to sort of also wonder about the prevalence of actually the world's best at dealing with flies. He is great at it, but the damage drop-off is quite severe. So if you can stay out of his effective range, you can actually get quite a lot of value from the likes of a Pharah. The only other downside, though, is if you do end up needing the pocket, it really ruins your ground composition if you are going to run a kind of half brawl on the ground. So it's kind of hard to just mix it in.
On the point of the damage fall-off, I'm unaware how much you play this, but recently Cassidy has had an increase in his, how quickly. So he has an increase in range. So I think that is why he is so prevalent. So even a Pharah wouldn't be that oppressive. But it is pretty much the same comp. And Decaf is back on the Tracer. Ryan Lacker is on the Cassidy. And I feel like the BAP is actually doing quite a bit of... I was worried about it, but it seems to be working quite well.
Yeah, the May is something we also haven't spent that much time thinking about it. As I say, that Sleepless takes down Decaf, but these walls have been absolutely excellent. Another difference between the two teams here, as Maverick, you can see, kind of stuck arms up while his opponents can get nice and aggressive. A huge vortex there on so many as Deco. One thing about Tracer, dies quick but gets back to the fight just as quick, but isolated out. A great wall once again from Sleepless, but they're struggling to actually get rid of this Maverick here. This player called Maverick, because Decaf once again goes down. This time Cortana the one finding the last hit there. As finally they will take down the Maverick. Mousecatcher though ends up isolated as well. Does get taken down, but throughout all of this, Fred rather have taken control of the point, and they've started ticking things up. And of course Flashpoint, things go pretty quick.
It is quite an even fight. I don't know, it seems that Lunettes are backing off, waiting for everyone to regroup. A 3v3 is kind of where I would have pushed the gas, but it seems that we're going now, just taking a normal 5v5 fight here. And Sleeper's falling down really quickly. Ryan Lacker trading back immediately.
Oh my god. Again, Decaf just taken down. 2 shots, quick sticks by Ryan Lacker here. He's not finding any value out of the Tracer. And now Mousecatcher can move forward. The point has flipped already. 17, 18, 19% built up here for EEA Lunettes. But they're man down here. And they've got a big angry Ramatra in their face. Mousecatcher putting out damage. Has to play a little bit defensively. But now the window comes up. It looks good. So much damage. Finds one, finds two. Slap Daddy will find Synesthesia as well, which I guess is the Laney Ball still in streamer mode. Got to fix that, guys. That is going to be it here. Lunette's in control still.
Lunette's having the Coalescence to maybe sustain, I want to say, the May ult that's coming up. However, Zeleny Ball with the beat could just stop Stormy's Blossom if he wants to. He just needs to be key with when he uses it. Do not burst that. Do not use that beat on the Coalescence.
That was close, almost cut off the Maverick once again here, not good enough on this occasion. 91%, they need to get in, and that's what the Mouse Catcher is trying to do here. He goes forward, Stormy once again, another great ultimate here, the Pulse Bomb to get... What? How did he live through that? Oh, it must have been a lamp, I think. Yeah, I kept him alive there, but that's going to be it. Lunettes will take control. A slow start, but they're there when it counts to take the 1-0 lead on Survasa.
Fred showing a bit of hesitation, I think. I feel like Stormy getting Zeleny Ball, and I think it was Ryan Lecker there in the beginning with his Death Blossom is what stopped that fight. However, just the speed with the Ram onto the backline is what it was kind of needed there at the time, because you do have the May to block them off. But ults for Fred is going to be the deciding factor here.
Yeah, the huge ult advantage here for the Red team here. Good Vortex. They cut them off here. Nemesis form. Need to find a target here, but we'll find Sleepless in fact. But once again, Ryan Lecker says thanks for the free kill, Decap. I'll take that if you don't mind. And now can look to find another one here onto Sleep or Zeleny Ball, whoever that is, it is Sleep. Not gonna find it on this occasion though. Deadeye at the ready, lots of ults at the ready here. They haven't used a single one yet, Fred. Already up to 12, 13, 14% here on the point. They need to get forward and look to find some kills here. Mousecatcher dropping low, uses the shield to keep himself healthy, but aggressive movement here from the enemy tank. He's gonna find a kill. That's 2 annihilations in the time it's taken Fred to use not even one, as now they get pushed back once again as the Maverick looks to find kills, won't do so on this occasion, but they're happy to sit this. This is game state positive here for EEA Lunettes, but here comes the Blizzard. It's good. It finds a couple, finds the Maverick. He's in Nemesis form, so he'll stay healthy for a bit longer, but eventually they will track him down and get rid of him, and now it's just a Tracer left on point. Can they get that kill done? Good healing here from the Moira, but will go down. Slap Daddy, Ryan Lecker, he's found one, found two. He knows Decap is a free kill. He won't even bother. He's his Mouse Catcher. You can have this one, but Fred finally getting control of the point.
Yeah, the same ults coming up again as we saw in the previous fight, on the previous point with the Coalescence, Death Blossom, and the Pulse coming up. Mousecatcher with his own Annihilation could, if he decides to press Q early, this could just stop Lunettes dead in their tracks.
He still seldom does though, as Maverick comes in once again. Mousecatcher still holding on to his ultimate. They do take down the Maverick here, so good start for Fred, but they're losing players left, right, and center. Ryan Lecker's gone down. The Pulse Bomb is good. It looks, I think it's stuck to the Ramattra there. He won't end up going down, but Sleepless will instead. As Sleep goes down now, Zeleny Ball still in this team fight, but unfortunately not going to keep Mousecatcher alive. 70% built up, but they're going to struggle to get in here for this last fight.
I believe Zeleny Ball can get this touch here. He is 90 to beat, so if we could get touch, he could build it during this fight, and that means they could fight like they could go a bit crazy there.
We need to go
not
now.
having to worry about HP.
We need to go right now.
He's going for the touch. He
Oh,
got
there
it.
we go. Just in the nick of time there.
Oh,
Ryan
he
Lecker
dies.
does find that kill onto Sleep. He does die, so no sound barrier at the ready here. That's a Velo Moira. The Maverick drops as well. Ryan Lecker's popping off. 1, 2, 3 in the kill feed. Or maybe Decaf doesn't count as a kill because it's just like breathing to Ryan Lecker, killing Decaf. But they are going to get control here. Now the script is flipped here, but there is a play in the mix. Ooh, Slap Daddy.
Oh, that is
Oh.
unfortunate.
Well, we are going to be all even Stevens here, I think, Cheetahs. Nobody should get into touch. No, they won't. So we are 1-1 on Survasa. A real back and forth display so far.
Yes. Next point coming up is a more brawl favored one. It's just in front of the previous one. Stormy's Death Blossom could go extra crazy here. However, they are playing without the Moira. The walk comes out early, isolating Maverick. And beat from
Ooh,
Zeleny Ball
beat.
is good.
Very early beat, so now they might look to use that Death Blossom. It'll be risky, but here it is. 1, 2. Can he find a third? No, not quite. Yes, he can. The Hellfire shotgun's coming in clutch. Annihilation popped as well, so an expensive team fight for EEA Lunettes, but it will help them to get this first cap.
That was quite unfortunate. I think the beat from the Zeleni wall wasn't terrible in the sense that it didn't counter any ults, yes, sure. However, if they use that beat as like a buffer window to just full send onto somebody, however, who do you catch on Lunettes? That's the question here. They do have a very slippery comp.
Ooh, you just saw for a moment there the perk for firing both guns at once there from Stormy. Oh, that's a good boss bomb. Should find one. No, a great Lamp keeping them alive here. That is Lamp on cooldown. No, aggressive play from Decaf. Ryan Licker says thanks for another one in the kill column. As now they look to move forward. Maverick finds the kill onto Sleepless. This is good play from our blue team, but they need to be careful not to overextend, and they will not on this occasion. Good work using the Lucio boost as a unit here, but Annihilation popped out. This is a very interesting ultimate. They have so many to work with here. Deadeye popped as well. No kills forthcoming just yet, but they will take down Slap Daddy suddenly, as now they can once again to clean up the Ramattra here. Not quite on him just yet, but they are going to take down all of his friends, and that's going to be it. Fred finally 90% built in the clock, but they've got control now.
Lunettes, it feels like Lunettes is kind of was firmly in the driving seat over there for a while, but Fred just flipping the script a bit with the ult advantage here. Hopefully they can weather these few storms, potentially take a couple of dry fights, not to waste ults and still have the advantage. Maverick coming up with his very own Annihilation, so he's going to probably look to cycle the cooldowns of the Nemesis form and the Annihilation. Not much going on right now in terms of visuals. The main ult is pretty good, and the Nemesis form comes out, but Maverick just instantly falls down. The beat from Zeleni ball keeps them up, satiates them for a bit, and it feels like this is a fight just won by Fred. However, Stormy gets the pick onto Sleepless. We do still have Stormy's Death Blossom coming out, but it's just not needed. They can't fight this dry, and Lunette's just flipping the script here completely. Well, Fred had to be in the driver's seat. Lunette says, no, thank you, we have taken our lessons, we will drive now. And just shutting down everything that Lunette's tried to do there, with no ults really used except Maverick's Nemesis form. That is a really good fight for Lunette's there.
Yeah, and the Nemesis form was almost throwing ults away there, because he maybe got one punch off in that before he died, so the Annihilation. So really, really great work from Lunettes there. And I think, Fred, that'll be kind of rattling almost. You know, you really should have done that. You had so many ultis. You had even the opening couple of picks there, but you just got steamrolled. But now they'll get the better position on the point here, on the high ground, looking down onto the low ground.
And not only did they use some ults, it got no value. So I agree. Pretty much rattled, but Lunette's doing something interesting here, splitting the two comps, trying to pinch them in the middle. Opening pulse might be going.
Oh no. Really unlucky there. Perfectly timed jump, let's call it, from the Baptiste there. Stormy though has got the ultimate ready. Oh, this is a scene one, and there it is, the blender absolutely popping off Stormy. 3 kills, and that's going to be it. Once again, Lunette just too good, this time all on ult execution, and they come out on top with a 2-1 lead.
The double ult usage, double support usage from Lunette might have been a slight miscommunication, but at this point, I kind of want to say that the BAP is not getting as much value as I think he would like. He needs to get this window in so it is, so that it does get some value.
Well, this is not the place to fight though. Maverick finds Sleepless once again, but Ryan Licker somehow tracks down Stormy in the melee. A good sound barrier will keep a couple of players alive here. The Maverick not able to find the targets he wants. As I say that though, he finds the opening, he finds the opportunity, and he finds the kills as well. 2 kills, both supports going down, and they're in big trouble here. Fred, 62% already on the clock. It's gonna have to be a pretty big comeback here to win this one out.
Quite an unfortunate sound barrier from Zeleni. Losing that pick early, like Sleepless dying really quickly, I feel like is kind of warranted to just put on Speed Aura and just run away, just reset the fight, because now they don't have the beat for this fight, and that's a good boot from Sleep.
Ooh, Deadeye popped here, not finding any significant. As I say, that the 1-2 kills Maverick and Sleep going down here, and that might be teamfight over, but Stormy not giving up just yet. Tracer and Reaper on the point here, tracking down Lucio. Mousecatcher though gets rid of the Reaper. A good platform though, should find one. No, doesn't. Great work from from the red team there, keeping alive. Decaf just looking to buy time here, but they're already in overtime, so unless he wants to wait for his teammates to come back, that would be a pretty tough ask here. But as I say that, you can see in the background there, quite a few players rejoining the fray here. Point still in control of Lunettes here, so they can take this fight as long as they want here. Here comes the window though, a lot of damage being pumped out, extra damage, extra healing here from the Baptiste, but not finding targets, not finding kills just yet. It's back up to a full 5v5. The sound barrier comes out now, so does the Blizzard. Mousecatcher dropping low, taken down. Sleep finds the last hit. It might be all over now. They just need to clean up 1, 2, 3 quick kills, and it might be over. Yes, it is forced back, force of the points, and EA Lunettes, normal scheduled programming resumes here.
What a series. Ryan Lacker was all over Decaf, but it clearly was not enough. Quite masterclass performance by Lunettes, showing how they've grown as players through the whole Conquer the Climb series. Just never saying die, just keep on running, not ever relenting. Really, really good play from Lunettes. Going into our next map is also going to be quite interesting because I feel like this is more back and forth than I expected. The 3-1, as we mentioned previously in the round robin, it was a 3-1 in favor of Lunettes, but it's more of a, it feels more tight. It doesn't feel as there's one team that is just taking over. However, I feel like halfway through that game that we just witnessed, Fred thumbs up, they were kind of slowing down a bit. I don't know if mentals are maybe playing a factor in here, because as we know with a lot of new players, maybe they don't have that experience of competing at a high level where like you get in your own head, and that's not what should happen. They should focus on the game and just, every map's a new map, new game, new people. But Lunettes just never saying die and grabbing these wins from out of nowhere, unexpectedly, I would say. Like, there were a couple of times where I was like, okay, Fred has this in the bag. There's no way that Lunettes would take this because of ult economy. And then, just out of nowhere, you have Sleep and Stormy just running through them. Quite fun Overwatch, and it's really good. I really hope to see these teams go on longer than just the Conquer the Climb.
Yeah, well, we would expect that Lunettes would, right? Of course, their association with EEA implies that this is going to be a longer kind of relationship. But we'll have to wait and see. Guys, we will go to just a short 5-minute break here, let the teams recuperate here in the middle of the series, and we'll be back in just 5 minutes' time. Well, it's been a stellar match so far. Close encounter, it has to be said, here at Conquer the Climb, our second match of the day. Upper bracket, what is this? Semi-final, I guess? 2-4 semi-final. And it is 1-1 here. Each team has had their moment in the sun. But at the end of it all, Lunettes carrying the momentum through after Survasa. Joined here by Cheetos. My name is Sun Phoenix. Cheetos, kind of feels like Lunettes have found their rhythm here, doesn't it?
It does feel like that, and I would wholeheartedly agree with you. But as we saw on Lijiang Tower, as soon as Lunettes finds their footing, Ryan Lacker and the squad and co, I would like to call them, Fred Thumbs Up just comes and yanks the ground underneath them, and they're like, no, this is our spot now, right? So that happened on Lijiang. It unfortunately did not happen in Survasa. So I'm hoping that it's still a shakeup. I'm enjoying this nail-biting game that we're seeing.
Yeah, we hope that we get close Overwatch, high level Overwatch, and that's what we've seen so far. But Fred are the ones on the back foot now. They're the ones who have to look towards the rest of the series and figure out how they're going to solve the problem being posed by their opponents today. And Lunettes has been an interesting kind of display of different styles. Yes, both teams are running Brawl, but Fred are leaning more heavily on the Mei and the Cassidy, obviously, whereas it almost feels like a more traditional Brawl composition with the Reaper and pressure from the Tracer around the sides. We kind of had questions about that Tracer, Decaf's Tracer, not necessarily because of Decaf's skill or lack thereof, but more because Ryan Lecker just seemed to completely dominate that engagement. What are your thoughts on that as we head on to Havana for map 3?
Havana for map 3, knowing that both teams are quite brawl heavy, is kind of making me scratch my head. Havana known as more of a pokey map. I'm wondering what do they have cooking? What does Fred have in the bag that... So, Ryan Lacker has been shown to be pretty potent on the Cassidy, which means that he could probably translate that over to Ashe quite easily, which would be really good for them here if they're on attack or defense. However, I'm worried about Lunettes here because Decaf has shown somewhat of a reluctance of switching off that Tracer. So I'm scratching my head. What will they play? Will they play poke, or will they just go for a brawly spawn hold as teams often do on Havana, buying those 2 minutes to then later fight just before the first point in a scrappy fight right in front of the gates?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether they change up the style a little bit, because this is kind of a map where your long range hit scans can dominate. Your Widowmakers especially is the hero that comes to mind on this map, with the long sight lines, especially on the first and third points. So I'd be interested to see if we do see anything different, but I think we've seen like basically no switches out of the previous 2 maps. Like, I'm trying to think if we've even seen anyone play anything else, and nothing springs to mind. So that's kind of almost what you might expect from a team with a dedicated mentor, right? Identify your team's strengths and drill that. And it seems like both teams have taken that approach to some extent.
Yeah, and to be fair, the first 2 game modes we saw, which was Control and Flashpoint, is very brawl orientated, so we would assume not to really see much difference here. So this would be the first, I would say, real test of the 2 teams. The flexibility which you get, the flexibility that you get from swapping to a more poke comp now. This would separate. I think the saying is the wheat from the chaff.
Oh,
right?
Sorry, you know what occurred to me? They started on Ryan, Fred.
Mouse catcher, of course, yes.
That was the one big change.
And then, but yes, I think this is where we could kind of see which team is a cut above the other if they can adapt to the map now, right? Thumbs up with the Mei and the Cass.
Yeah, that is true. It is nighttime event. I haven't seen that before. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, that's not going to change anything, but it's just shocked me for a moment there. Okay, we have some changes here. Zeleny Ball, no player changes. Just want to make it clear, he has been playing the whole time, just under streamer mode. So he's on the Zen here as they come out of spawn on the defense, and then Sleepless has moved on to the Sojourn, and Ryan Lecker, he'll be on the Widowmaker. So a pretty significant change on both teams here in terms of one of their DPS. Stormy on the other side as well, on the Sojourn instead of the Reaper.
Sojourn, a really good pick, I feel like, into a Ram heavy comp, because you can build that charge off and like delete one of the squishes. However, the impression that Fred is going to get with the Zen Widowmaker and the Zen Widowmaker, Baptiste, and the Sojourn, I think is going to be a bit too much. I don't know if Lunettes can weather the storm that is this comp.
Well, this is a very feast or famine composition. You got to be able to hit your shots and kind of get the picks to justify picking the Widowmaker. And once they get on top of you, you can struggle a little bit. So we'll have to wait and see if they can get in here, Lunettes, and start building that pressure. So far, not much going the way of Fred here, but now the brawl will start in earnest here. Mousecatcher on the front line, just dueling it out with his opposing number here as the Sojourn looks to find targets, looks to find damage alongside his teammates. Neither team really taking any great advantage here, but meanwhile the card is just comfortably moving on through towards this first point. They've lost a lot of ground here, but there we go. Doesn't matter what he's playing, he's got Decap's number. Needs to be careful though, a lot of damage coming through, but good healing from Cortana will keep the main man healthy here. Not able to hit the shots on the supports in the backline here. We'll switch to the tank, but Mousecatcher's like, I don't really want to spend my whole game dueling the enemy Ram, but might work out here. Ryan Lecker, it takes him a bit, but he will find the picks if given enough time, and he has done so already. Both DPS falling to the Widowmaker.
It's quite interesting how as soon as we switch off of
he's got stage fright. He's got stage fright.
It's just nerfs. But as you said, no matter who the hero, Ryan Lecker has Decaf's number. Stormy now switching over to Widow to possibly duel Ryan Lecker, not giving him that comfort. Let's see this duel happen in 4K, as they like to say.
None of them will hit each other while we're watching, so we better watch somebody else here. And so we can watch the kill feed instead.
For a bit.
Yeah, exactly. That seems to be the
Decaf switch off the Tracer.
I like that. I think the Ashe is a decent pick here as they look to try their way in. I told you, Ryan Lecker finds that opening kill onto Stormy. He's really had his way within this game as Ryan Lecker from Fred. They've been holding firm here. The Maverick though will track down to Laneybo and take him down, but Sleepless finds the enemy tank and the enemy support rather, and they'll take down Maverick. So just a minute and a half left here. It's looking good for Fred.
Looking really good for Fred. They still have the window, the Trank, and the Annihilation to play with, while Lunettes only have the Annihilation Beat and the Coalescence. I say only, but that's three very instrumental ults. I feel like the beat can be used to full send it onto this Widow, but we do have a little footsie game. And he gets it. Stage fright is gone.
Yeah, we all saw with our own eyes the kill for the first time here. I think he's get aggressive with Laneybo. He'll find the opening kill onto Sleep, or the secondary kill onto Sleep here, and that's gonna be, the fallback call. Just find a couple of kills and send them packing. Just a minute left now. Ults to work with, but Lunettes can't make any mistakes from now.
I feel like all Lunettes really need to do, switching to the Sombra, obviously to look at that Widow, but I feel like Lunettes should just commit ults, just speed onto them.
Yeah.
They have quite slow heroes, and we do see that with the Coalescence. Big takes the pick, but the Trank is there to counter it, to counter the Annihilation from them, and just, it feels like nothing burgers of ults happening at the moment, but the window is pretty good on keeping up Mousecatcher here.
Stormy finds both of those heroes that were hiding out on the high ground, and that could be perfect for him to get through here. Needs to be careful though, Zen, a tough hero to take down if he knows where you are. There's Annihilation on point as well. Mousecatcher trying to keep the red team at bay, but he's having a hard time to take it out here. Needs to be careful. Punched, kicked, balls in the face, and Stormy will hit the deck, but he's made enough space for the Maverick to clean up. Cart is moving now towards this first point. Have they finally done it? Have Fred finally been overcome here? It looks that way as they back off now. No one in position to get the touch, and that is going to be it here for the first point. Fred forced back. Lunettes finally finding some purchase.
Even though Lunettes did take the first point from Fred, it is very significant that they did it in overtime, meaning that they don't have as much time in the time bank.
Ooh, Mousecatcher does find sleep there. Been on occasion a little bit too aggressive sleep. I think we can agree. Cheetos finding himself the first to drop in these team fights, but not going to cost him too much here. More than a little bit of space, says Stormy. Looking for targets around the back here. Not really.
They do have the
Sorry, go for it.
overclock coming up for the fight coming up now. I feel like they're funneling a bit here, Maverick. Not much happening. Stormy looking for the pick, I'm pretty sure. Bomb coming out just to bang. That's a good bomb.
Oh, right in the doorway there, dropping low, but putting out a ton of damage. Coach Khan will send the Ramatra onto the ground level, and now he's got a lot of units coming in on him. Can they find this kill? He's got the ball here from Zen, and it's keeping him healthy because Cortana has rotated around as well, but Cortana is isolated, taken down. The Maverick dropping low, but he's got the Coalescence at his back now. Transcendence popped in turn here, so nobody wants to see their tank go down at the moment, but it might not be enough here as the Maverick, he's found the target he wants. Pesky Zen taken down, taken out, and without even blinking, it seems like we're already here at the end of the second point here. I have to get the touch. Mousecatcher gets on. He has Annihilation, but he doesn't have much by way of teammates at the moment as he is put under a ton of pressure here on the point, dropping low. Pops Annihilation to keep himself alive, and it will do so for the time being, but is the backup there to keep him healed up? So far, it is to some extent, but eventually he will get taken down. The spread forced back once again. Ryan Lecker, he finds a cheeky shot onto Decaf once again, but it's not going to be enough to keep his team from losing the second point.
That is quite. That was quite quick. I feel like Ryan Lecker now needs to ask himself the question. I know that he has been getting the picks on the Widow, but he has to ask himself the question: is it worth playing Widow into this? They have the Sombra that is just in the backline, constantly harassing him, not giving him actual time to set up. It just seems that Stormy on the Sombra is just harassing the backline non-stop.
Oh, and here we see it, Ryan Lecker dropping low. That might be it for him. You might at this point say, okay, fine, I'll go the cast then. I'll find more value on that here. Whoops, not quite able to get up there, but he does find the target. The Zen will force him low, but not likely to secure that kill here. They did lose 3 in the meantime, though. Mousecatcher drops late as well. So just since this first point, Cheetos, they've been unstoppable here, Lunettes.
The EMP is still on Stormy, so if Stormy can get out with their life, next fight EMP will go insanely hard into their comp. Cortana does have to get a pretty early window, and there is ample high ground for them to play with the window here. It's just whether or not the beat, the Nemesis form, or the Annihilation and the EMP is good, and I think Stormy is looking for an EMP here.
Moves through now. EMP at the ready should get 3. Does get 3. 2 at least. As Cortana pops the windows here. Looking for another target. Stormy dropping so low. Is the healing good? It is for the time being, and he will track down Sleepless and take them down as well. So that's going to be it perhaps for the third point now, as they get kill after kill. Stormy doing such an excellent job in the enemy backline, and the Maverick will clean it up with his Annihilation. Bob to boot. No hope here for the blue team to win this. Team Fighters Cortana stuck in the corner and taken down at the end of it. So once it's all said and done, with a absolute maximum amount of time, a full 12 seconds remaining, they will get the final cap, which when you look at how the first point went, Cheetos, they will only be so happy with that.
Yeah, I'm just a bit disappointed at Fred Thumbs Up here. Ryan Lecker, I feel like should have gotten that cast a bit sooner. I understand that a lot of the times you see that you have ultimate, but you have to ask yourself the question, is my ultimate going to make us win the fight? Is it worth staying on this character just because I have my ultimate, or should I just swap off? And I think here the answer was go switch off to the Cassidy.
Yeah.
That Sombra was not making it Ryan's life easy at all. We do see Zelenibor here with the Life Weaver. This might be for a cheeky pick where you throw the Petal Platform on the Widow, get her up, and let her just quickly get a ding. But let's playing here what we saw them play a bit early, except it's flipped. Decaf is now on the main? Decaf making us all just eat our words by switching it up off of the Tracer. It's quite funny where I feel like a Tracer would be pretty good into their comp. Decaf's not playing Tracer, but I think they're going for that spawn hold. And with these spawn holds, the goal is to just get at least 1 to 2 minutes. That's your goal with a spawn hold.
I think you'd be insanely happy with 2 minutes with the spawn hold
Yeah.
here as they move forward now. The jig is up.
Big wall.
Wall as well. Keeps him from running back into spawn here. The lamp will keep Cortana alive for just a little bit longer, but not long enough to actually win the team fight out. So there you go. 15 seconds burnt off the clock. At least 30 plus likely to be in the offing here for our red team as Decaf needs to be careful. Drops low, but yeah, they're making no progress on the card at the moment.
Yeah. Really good idea for the spawn hold. However, they now need to commit on these targets. Zeleniborn is in very low. Oh, the Lucio can get it. The target focus from Lunettes needs to be perfect. They need to go for these people outside because Bap is just playing in the safety of his own spawn at the moment.
Yeah, so is Ryan Licker as well.
Oh,
I feel like
Big
it's just a matter of time they get the kills. Big Boop, as you say, find one, find two. The Maverick gets the follow-up kills there, and geez, you don't often see a spawn hold quite so successful as this has been.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is the minute. They are now more than happy
Yeah.
to let go of this.
Yeah, that is the minute. And you know, if it ain't broke though, don't fix it. As
Don't
now
fix
they
it.
come out hindered up. They're under pressure for the time being with the Maverick. Happy to just trade things out, and he's winning this trade quite comfortably at the moment. Sleepless isolated now from the rest of his team. Needs to be careful as Ryan Licker pressure put on him. The Widowmaker not working out, so he has moved back onto the Cassidy to try and find a way through the stalwart defense that Linets is putting up here. And it's a minute and a half already burnt off the timer now as it's not over yet. Stormy popping off, finds one kill with the Death Blossom. Another great wall keeps Mousecatcher from getting back into his spawn. Ryan Licker pops the ulti here. Maverick's like, oh my god, he actually got around. The speed boost there as it ends kind of managed to get around the corner there, but
That is so
not gonna be
unfortunate
enough.
from Mousecatch. Being walled off by his own main. Not let him into spawn. However, Lunettes have done what they do. 2 minutes remaining, they still have ults. Red is only coming up on their ults now. However, Zeleniborn could potentially build beat really quickly if he stays on that healing and does get the poke damage. However, I think they're going to open it with the Mei, wall off the Maverick, and then just pummel into him.
Aggressive movement here. They do need to be careful of that May wall. Sleepless has the Blizzard here. That looks like a pretty good place to pop it, it feels like, right? Not going to use it just yet here. They instead go in with a Coalescence here for Lunettes. Suffer as I have, it's Annihilation. Lion Licker does take down Stormy. You feel like you should have been doing that a long time ago. But it is lots of Annihilation here. But your gaze, if you have photosensitive epilepsy, because it's a light show up in here, is it's going to be Ryan Licker who comes out on top here, and Fred, after a full hold, a spawn hold rather, they will push through without too much consternation in the end.
However, the time bank that Lunettes did chip away at is quite significant here. This does not give Fred as much time to play with. However, it has to be noted that watching Ryan Licker play Cassidy makes me question, why do you ever take him off this hero?
Yeah, I mean, his Widow was good, right? It was really, really good. On first point, it was kind of a big part of why they held that for as long as they did. But once the Sombra comes out, I think you check if the Widow is still viable, and then you switch off. But as we say that, of course, Licker will be killed immediately. A great Blizzard catches a couple right on the end here. 2 kills already down, and it should be more. A great Vortex rather to stop Cortana from jumping out there. That's going to be it for this team fight.
Oh, Stormy is going a bit deep. Fortunately, he has the mind to say, no, I'm not catching that Lucio. He can have his fun. Ult advantage is on Fred. If we could open this up with the Sleepless Blizzard, that would be good. Wall off. Sleepless's wall has been really good onto the Maverick, but it's a big E from the Ram to just stop them in their tracks a bit, but the pressure, they dropped too early. And the Mei isolated in the backline.
Ooh, Maverick finds Ryan Licker. That's a very, very significant kill to get in these team fighters now. May has no ice blocky, will go down here. Blizzard was ready to go, but not finding the opportunity to use it there. Sound barrier available for Sleep, but not likely to need it here as they look to try and clean things up. Annihilation comes out though. Yeah, we'll drop the beat now. A good counter ultimate here as Mousecatcher looks for targets. The Reaper TP's out, but does get taken down. Ryan Licker is back, and he's mad, and he's looking for kills. Mousecatcher though finding kills in the other backline. Here's the Maverick dropping low, eventually taken down as Ryan Licker back with a vengeance. clean things up here. Not quite over yet, just a couple of players alive, but no, Slappy Daddy gonna have to try and get out of there, and will do so successfully, but a good push now on the offing for Fred.
Really, really scrappy fight. I think if I was Fred there, I would not be too happy with what happened. It feels a bit more like, even though they're winning, it feels like they're a bit indecisive with what they want to do. Right? Like a might fall early, and he falls.
Very good kill here, Coalescence. Finding that kill, finding another now as Cortana goes down. Decaf popping heads here with the help of his Blizzard, and that is about as quick of a clapback as you could ask for, Cheetos.
Yeah, quick, clean. It feels like Lunettes, Decaf had a quick pick talk with the Lunettes and told them like, hey, this Ryan Lacker guy has made my life a bit miserable. Can we do everything in our power to make sure he cannot play the game and just stare at spawn all day? And it feels like every fight he is target number one. Mousecatcher catching Slap Daddy. That's big, and it's a good wall.
Oh, great lamp as they crack open the wall here to keep a couple of players alive. But Ryan Lecker, again, an early pick here for Lunettes, and they can keep doing that. They should have no issues closing it out. It doesn't even fight those. We saw Slappy Daddy drop down, but they're not able to leverage that at the moment, Fred, here. They're stuck in this doorway where the extra numbers they might have aren't able to get used. Dropping so low here, the Ram under so much pressure. But here comes the Big Blossom. 2 kills here. The Lamp keeping them alive for just a bit longer, but Fred in big trouble here.
I don't think they can touch. I think this is just the Lunettes, yeah.
I think it's over here. Decaf picks up 2. The team kill. Siren sounds, and that's going to be it for game number 3. EEA Lunettes. A comfortable win after what looked like an absolute domination from Fred on the first point.
Really, really good Overwatch. I think Decaf has beaten the allegations. He is not a Tracer one-trick.
Yeah.
Showing the swap. And also, hats off to Stormy, recognizing the immense impact that switching to the Sombra can have into their team.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of spoke at length, Cheetos, about whether these teams had any flexibility whatsoever, basically, after those first 2 maps. But you called it. Survasa and Control, Flashpoint and Controller are kind of just the same thing, but twice, you know? So it made sense that both teams would operate in similar veins on both of those maps. And because of how even it was, no team was really forced to make wholesale changes to try and match what the opposing team was doing. So here where we come to a map where long-range hit scans excel, clearly Fred had the better of that relationship with Ryan Lecker on the Widow especially. And it forced Lunettes into a completely different composition, and they ran it expertly.
I just think, even though Fred has the better hit scan, the flexibility and the early swap that Lunette showed is, I think, the reason they took that map. The willingness to quickly change it up to, I counter the Widow so that we can get point, because Widow on first point Havana and final point Havana is so oppressive, it can result in you not being able to do anything. As I think most Overwatch players know how annoying a Widowmaker on Havana is. She's the #1 banned hero on that map when it comes to pro play. But just the quick swap off from Lunettes is what gave them the upper hand there. And Fred maybe want to go back and see, hey, let's try and recognize what's not working earlier. That is, I think, what they are maybe discussing in their team comms now. Obviously, I don't know if the mentors are in the comms coaching them like on the side, like, hey, this is what happened. But I think that is the takeaway here, is Fred did not switch quickly enough. But when they did switch, and this is very important, when they did switch, it looked really good. However, Ryan Lecker was public enemy #1. Every single time Maverick used Nemesis form, he was just pummeling Ryan Lecker's face into the ground. And I think this is where you maybe would go a Soj maybe instead, who has a bit more mobility, because as we know, Cassidy's quite immobile. But that's just me going on a bit of a tangent here.
Yeah, I just the heroes are they operate in the same role, but not every player who plays Cassidy can play Soja. And we spoke about this before when we were questioning the Tracer from Decaf. How flexible is he as a player? Where do his comforts lie? And that question has now been thoroughly answered. He's got more in the locker than he showed in those first 2 maps. And now we look at Ryan Lecker and say, okay, you're excellent at the hit scan. Can you do the Sojourn, and do you really need to? Because we don't look at Ryan Licker as the guy and say this is the issue. You are the problem player for your team. So maybe he just says, look, I'm doing my job. What else can we fix to make it so that I'm able to do what I need to do? And maybe now is the time, Cheetos, you take a look at that Baptiste and you ask questions of that, because right at the beginning you questioned that as a pick, and you kind of wonder now if it's something with a bit more utility maybe, or I don't even know if it's there's no obvious quick fix here for Fred at the moment.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think I'm harping on Ryan Lecker because it kind of feels like when he's enabled to do what he wants, he does what he wants. But at the moment, the Nets have been really good in answering everything he does and stopping him. I think the quick fix, in my humble opinion as a player, is maybe to move away from the brawl. But as I mentioned, these teams are brawl teams, and with Conquer the Climb, they have been trained into these brawl matchups, and that is what they're good at. So rather play what you're good at than what you're not good at. So I'm excited to see, not excited, more, I'm interested to see what goes forward, if they will just decide to do the same thing, and if it's more of a let's hope, not hope necessarily, but let's hope that we get the picks that we need to stop the fight. I think also indecisiveness is something that we saw where Fred would have more ults but not commit anything or commit on a target properly. Whereas Lunettes, I don't know, it's quite hard to see when there's a bunch of annihilations and vortexes and things going on your screen. But something you can notice is that their target prioritization is exceptionally good. It feels like they all look at the same target, and whoever is the voice of reason in that team is making pretty good decisions. We do have confirmation of our map 4, which is going to be Esperanza again. Out of the two push maps, however, out of the two push maps, I would argue Sun Phoenix. This is the more dive one. There's more verticality, more long range, more dive, more pokey, but still. Brawl on push is generally okay. It is now going to be who can utilize high ground and angles better. And I think the decaf Tracer could be really potent here. I think the decaf May could be potent here. I can think the Stormy Sombra can be potent here. I think the Ryan Lecker Cassidy can be potent. I think everything can be potent here. Everything can be potent here. I'm just interested to see how they match up, and I want to say 95% sure that we're going to see Brawl, and we're going to see the same thing we saw in the beginning.
I think if we see anything else, I'll eat my hat, because this is not the map where you go, nah, Brawl can't work here, in my opinion. I think we retire the decaf Tracer. No disrespect, I just think you are getting hardcore diffed by Ryan Lecker on the Cassidy, and I think you are not in that time making enough space for your team to take advantage of that. Decaf says, shut up, I know what I'm doing, and we will see if that is what bears out here. Mousecatcher says, shut up, I'm done playing Ryan, I'm gonna Ram. I'm gonna go back to the Ryan again.
A bit of a funny pick because his Sleepless is there. Not Sleepless, Mousecatcher's Ram has been really good, but I think it's more of a let's go to comfort for this. I mean, this is nail-biting. If they lose now, they lose. They're down to the lower bracket. I don't think anybody wants that. However, the double brawl is interesting. I think Honor would be really potent into this. Honor Lucio maybe is something we see a lot happen at the upper tiers, but in Conquer the Climb, it's more comfort over meta.
Absolutely. We see the Surge in here from Stormy now, Maverick. We will have the better of this matchup, and you can see why now. Just punch right through the shield. No worries in the world. Needs to be careful now. Nemesis Form comes to an end, but 10 million players have died behind him in the meantime, the Maverick. So that's going to be it for this team fight. So space created is what I think Mousecatcher will say, in spite of all the pressure he was put onto. But Ryan Lecker and the rest of Fred managed to clean up the Lunettes backline.
And Stormy immediately swapping to the Reaper, sacrificing range now. You can tell here from Lunettes' team comp that they don't have the range that Fred has, so they're going to take a lot of chip damage before they even get to point. That Bap hammering down, May, Icicles, and then Cass, obviously, on the Langle. Does Ryan Lecker have Decaf's number here again? Pin from Mousecatcher. just catching
Meanwhile-
everybody. Oh,
Yeah.
just falls over.
Good
my
luck.
words.
See you in 15 seconds. As now they move forward once again. The Maverick dropping low, taken down. Great work from Ryan Lecker once again. But does he have enough backup here to actually win this one out? He's got the Deadeye. He gets rid of Decaf using the Deadeye. Can he find any follow-up kills? The pressure is on him though, and Sleep gets the better of that engagement. Not enough healing available to keep the Cass alive. And that's going to be it now. Cart moving back for EA Lunettes.
At this point, I'm kind of wondering if there's some unspoken beef that we don't know about, because every single time Decaf is on Ryan's screen, he's just dead. It feels like Ryan Lecker just goes out of his way to focus down that Tracer.
That's what I'm saying.
Shoot.
Just retire the Tracer. Jeez. Because it's Ryan Lecker is just so happy to kill you over and over again. And
But,
again, he's showing us he's got value. You can offer value on other heroes. One, two. Oh, don't forget that the pressure is there. There's a Ryan in your back line. You've got to be careful here. But Nemesis form popped in. Revelation pop now as well. Cortana taken down. Shatter up, and that should be. You should take damage from that if you stun and you fall off the edge. Or Ryan Lecker though comes in, or rather, Mouse Catcher charges through, gets rid of the Maverick, but he doesn't have enough HP to keep himself healthy. A lot of kills coming out here. Lead will go the way of EA Lunettes, and Ryan, last man standing, taken down. Stormy popping off on the Reaper once again. They should get the first point capped.
Slight miscommunication there from Slapdaddy, coalescing when the fight was already won, I feel, but again, Fred committed, I feel like, two very powerful ults there with the Earthshatter and the Beat, but still ended up losing the fight. Lunettes having the forward spawn now gives them a bit of room to play with, but Reaper possibly caught here.
Ooh. No, he's got the shift out, so he'll be fine for now. Not that much used by way of cooldown to try and track him down. He is in the backline though, Stormy. But you need to be careful dropping Lecker. 2 shots, and that's down here. One on the head of the Tracer as well. So much damage coming up. Tracer's dead now. The blink gets through. 1 shot onto the head of the Lucio. Yes, he can. Of course he can. The roll forward. Ban the hammer to put the pressure onto the enemy Ram. But Mouse Catcher dropping low. Taken down. Punched out here by Maverick once again. But Ryan Lecker, if he's alive, there is hope. If he's got healers, there is hope. If he can find the hits he needs to, which he so often can. 1 shot, stand up. Can they get the kill onto the Reaper? No, they can't. The fade out is there. Oh! 1 shot, 2 shots. Ryan popping off here. He's got the healing, and that means he's got the resources he needs to keep himself alive and find the picks he needs to.
Just to throw it back to OWL, it feels like Ryan Lecker is a walking highlight reel, just hitting shots after shots. He clearly did not watch the movie Saving Private Ryan. It's most likely Decaf saving Private Decaf at the moment.
Yeah, well, it's Ryan saving everybody else right now as they look to push forward around the corner again. They should get the cap up here and catch the lead here. Charge not on the money this time, but it will help them hopefully secure the kill onto the Maverick. Not able to at this point. The healing is there, but so is the Deadeye. That's just run around the corner here. He'll get some charge going. Can he break the shield? Oh, he gets Ram. He finds a kill onto Stormy. Stormy thought he was covered by the Ram shield, but it wasn't enough here. Was that a Genji? I just saw one. I don't think it was. As the shadow comes through, 1, 2, 3. Two fire strikes to secure the kills. Annihilation pop and counted out by the sound barrier, and Maverick will go down. Mouse Catcher, he's got space to work with now, and he's using it well. Everything looks like a nail to him, and the cart will roll on forward.
Everything looks like a nail to him. Really insane pick there from Ryan Lecker, getting
Maybe
around that corner.
A block of wood, actually, since he's wielding an axe and not a hammer. But sorry.
Or nice, because he just keeps catching them.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Good point.
Coming in with the pin. Maverick looking a bit like a rodent, but not really.
Got the shield bash as well, it's worth remembering from the perks. As Ryan Lecker, Decaf is dead. Who could have seen it coming? As once again the Ryan Lecker Cassidy popping off here, but he is losing teammates now. That is a low Reaper. Looking for the target. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, but the healing is there to keep the Reaper in play. But they've built up such a healthy lead here. Have Fred. They can feel confident for the next 4 minutes, just trying to keep the sort of flux of this push map steady.
Our caster wishes have been Aunt Decaf has retired.
Oh my god, thank God.
The Tracer, he is now on the main, more survivability with that, I think, double HP pool. I think he's been like, enough is enough. I don't want to be watching, sitting in spawn all day, but Ryan Lecker does not care. Just does not.
Oh my god, 1-2 shots, not quite able to get the kill. Lucio dropping low, but the pressure is on the high ground now. Can they find any more kills? Not for the time being, but they will push forward here. Zeleny Ball keeping his team healthy for the time being with the speed boost, but the Reinhardt has dropped down, so need to be careful. Deadeye, can they find the kill? No, good timing there from Stormy on the Reaper. Oh, and just needs one shot to take care of that pesky Moira, but won't be able to find it just yet. The Maverick tracks down Zeleny Ball and takes them out. This is the team fight. We're potentially a big shot. 2 kills, 2 heroes, but not able to find the kill on that second one and running out of teammates very quickly. Nice pin through onto the health pack, but he's going to get chased down here by the Ram. No. Good patient play here. Just going to pull back and secure some more point push.
I've only noticed it now, but Mousecatcher has decided to go for the Fire Strike heals your barrier perk into a Ramattra, where the other perk is his healing starts quicker, so I don't know what perks are good on Reinhardt, because I'm not really a Reinhardt player, but that's an interesting combo for me, because it feels like they don't have really much pressure on the perking, but just Maverick just hammering into that, the beat coming out, keeping Mousecatcher up.
Oh my god.
But Sleep just falls, and then Stormy just kills him. Beat drop, beat hit?
Yeah, but did it hit Cortana? Because it seemed like she didn't get any HP. There is Mousecatcher. He does find Stormy here. Can they get more? But it feels like the Maverick is just doing so much damage. Charge comes through. The Maywall says, no, sir. And the lead is now overcome here. Fred forced all the way back to spawn here. Can the healing keep them up in the face of so much damage, including the Coalescence? No, it can't. 2 minutes left on the clock, but it might be all over before we get anywhere near there as the card rounds the final corner, pushes on towards the final zone. Is there anything left in the tank here for Fred? Last man in, the Lucio, but there's an ultimate outside the spawn. Ryan Lecker taken down, frozen up, and that's going to be it. It looks so good for Fred all the way around the corner of their opponent's base, but Lunette says, don't worry, it's all under control.
It's just, I think, I've been harping on this point for quite a while, but it's quite, you can see the amount of change that happens once Lunette started fighting 5v5 instead of 4v5s, because Decaf wasn't in spawn immediately.
I don't like to engage in cyberbullying, but brother, Decaf on the not to say his trace is bad. I just want to make that clear. We're not singling out. We're not singling him out because he's not up to standard, but he was getting hardcore diffed by the Cassidy, and at that point, he's either a more patient man than I am, or his comms could never. I mean, his comms could never ever have been broadcasted in any situation. Because if that was me, I would have been kicked from the team after that game because. Some of the stuff I would have been saying at that point would have been not acceptable in any setting. So, yeah, but I totally hear what you're saying. The switch off, it's like the immediate change in their composition was exactly. It was just so obvious.
A good game from Lunette. They showed quite a bit of, I think, adaptability to the surrounding, and I think that's what you need to be a good Overwatch team. And Mousecatcher also played really well when he got that Ryan on that Esperanza and Ram. Interesting. Ryan Lecker also, like, my highlight of the day was watching that Cassidy just tap everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we're going to go to MVP now before we close the stream. And I'm going to give it to you, Sun Phoenix. Who do you think was MVP?
Yeah, that's not how this works. Don't try and flip the script on me, okay? You're doing color, I'm doing play-by-play, right? So you get to tell me who you think MVP is. You're supposed to be the one with the brains here, right? So who
I'm a Lucio player. We've established I've got small mind.
Yeah, I know, but you're going to have to, rub your 2 brain cells together and come up with something valuable here.
I think, I think it has to go to Ryan Lecker's Cassidy.
No, it can't. It has to be from the winning team. Come on, cheaters.
Does it have to be from the winning team?
Yes, it has to be from the winning team. I don't make the rules. Peach makes the rules.
Winning team. Who was the... Actually, I'm going to give it to Maverick. I think his Ramattra was really solid and his target priority was really, really good. So my MVP is Maverick's Ram.
the Maverick. All right, I couldn't disagree with that. I think he stood out. I'm almost tempted to give it to Decaf and say he was making space the whole
I was
time.
about to say that.
But I think we've beaten that drum now throughout the whole series. So the Maverick really standout performance from him on the Ram. Flexibility is always questionable with some of these main tanks, but don't fix what ain't broken, and he was definitely able to find value on that hero. So that's going to be it, guys, for today, Conquer the Climb. But it isn't it for these teams. Of course, the two winners from today go to their upper bracket final match, and the losers drop down to the lower bracket to face off and continue their run. So if you saw some players you liked here on the losing team, don't worry, you'll be able to see them hopefully play tomorrow. But we will be back tomorrow. There is a third match happening this evening, but that will not be broadcasting. It will be Otaku taking on Fred in the lower bracket. So unfortunately that will not be covered, but you guys can tune in tomorrow. What time is the first match tomorrow? Anybody know?
I can quickly check.
2 p.m. 2 p.m. So tune in at 2 p.m. tomorrow, guys, for the final day of Conquer the Climb. And credit also to our mentors, Ontiablo and Kurigari. I think you can see the style that this team plays is one that would work very well with Kurigari and Ontiablo. So I wonder if that kind of informs Decaf's insistence on playing the Tracer, because Ontiablo is like, yeah, that's how you win. You play Tracer and everybody dies. That's how the game works as far as Ontiablo is concerned. But really well played by Lunetia and Fred. But that's going to be it, guys. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. I think we've got 3 games tomorrow, or 4. So if at any point you want more Conquer the Climb, you know where to come. Here at twitch.tv/ZA Overwatch. It's at ZA Overwatch on Twitter as well. If you want to keep up to date with all things happening in South African Overwatch, not just Conquer the Climb going on, also the Summer Series, which should be some matches happening soon for that. And then of course I've been Sun Phoenix, at Sun Phoenix on Twitter, Cheetos at Cheetos_ Twitch TV TTV on Twitter, and at the Peach ZA as well. The father of this lovely tournament, so please go give some love to him. He's feeling a bit under the weather as well, so he could use some kind words, as well as some vitamin C, I'm sure. But that's going to be it from us, guys. Here we'll be back at 2 p.m. tomorrow. I'll see you then.